And so we're not making SALT maps in social studies anymore. And we're not getting to do all of the research projects that we would love to do for science. We're not getting any hands-on because we don't have time. We are preparing for this test. It's all about the test. And now I'm in first grade, and still it's all about the test. I can't even do crafts with my kids because now I'm teaching them keyboarding to get them ready for the test. It's not about the students anymore. And that's what it's supposed to be about. That is all that matters, the success of each individual student on his or her level. But that's not what we are able to focus on in our classrooms anymore.
The emphasis on testing, on the tested subjects, has really taken away from the other classes that are essential to a student's education, but they are not tested. We have students that are taken out of our classes to get extra instruction in the tested subjects, and so they lose out on the extras of education and career technical education, such as an engineering class as I teach, or health science, or a business class, agriculture. They're not getting a well-rounded education.
Because the parents are stressed out because all these standards, they don't know how to teach what we're having to teach them. I have a granddaughter that's going into kindergarten this fall. I hope that she's going to be able to pick up on things quickly. I hope that I'm going to be able to help her as well. But you have to look at the fact when parents are struggling that they can't even sit down and help their kids with homework, there's a problem.
On a personal note, my own child was in 3rd grade this year, straight A student, but getting ready for the test just made her a nervous wreck. We got to where we didn't want to come to school. She had headaches every day, and there was nothing wrong but her nerves for the test. She was so afraid that she would fail the grade because she was going to fail the test. And I just don't think having to take those tests on the computer are appropriate for a 3rd grader.
Teachers are not against high standards. Teachers always try and strive to bring their children as high as they can, but with the pressure from the 10 Ready test and the extended standards, children are missing out. Elementary children, science and history and geography is being totally ignored just to concentrate on basic subjects, and they're not getting a well-rounded education that will hinder them once they get out of elementary and into high school.
When I first started teaching, which was like 29 years ago, my life was very fulfilled. I went to school every day happy. My kids were happy. I taught, they learned. Now, everything is so stressful. When I go home, I'm stressed out. My colleagues are stressed out. All we think about is what can we do to make sure that our students are going to perform well on the test. That's all our students are thinking about. How are we going to do on the test? It's like our lives are just totally centered and focused on one test, and we're so stressed out. All of us, teachers and students.
Having taught the last 10 years, the role of the educator and the role of the student has completely changed. You used to see a lot more fun in the schools, in the classroom, and we've had to take that out. We are so focused on the test and test prep and getting students ready for intervention. And yes, we are for high stakes testing, but we still have to remember these are kids. And we have to remember that this is about them, and we have to make this fun. We have to make it something that they want to do, so we prepare them for a life and a future. The role of the educator has also changed. We have more on us than we ever have before. We have a lot more testing. We have a lot more programs that the state has piled on us. This is done without asking the educator how they feel about these situations, but is given to us every year. We have so many different things that come to us each year, and you get an in-service that you're trying to prepare your regular state standards, and then you have so much more added on. It becomes just overwhelming. I can't imagine starting in education now. At least I've had 10 years to prepare for this, but a new teacher coming in, this would have to be overwhelming.
I've had the privilege for the last 9 years of being the coordinated school health specialist in our school district. A lot of the testing has brought on several different avenues for our students. The test brought on so many anxiety issues with these students that they could not even perform because of the stress, the stomach aches, because of their nerves. They could not perform, and we're talking about students that are high achievers. They make straight A's in the classroom. They're good students. They do not struggle. And when your high performing students are having these kinds of problems, then you have a total problem all the way around.
Am I going to keep my job? Is that going to affect my licensing, as some have tried to connect test scores to licensing? It puts the pressure on me to take the joy out of my teaching, which I pass on to my children, unfortunately. And they no longer see it. They pick up on my pressure, my stress, and it's taken the joy out of teaching. And, the teachers are so pressured when your job is on the line from just one day of testing, not from the year that you've done, but from that 1 week or that one couple days that you test could change your whole teaching career.
I'm concerned because after 9 years of being in a different position in the school system, I'm going back into the classroom to teach first grade. So 9 years of not being where where they've been, I'm going back to that. Very concerned, not knowing, can I do this? If I can do this, how am I going to do this?